Hello, my name is Stephanie Moberly. This is my case study for EDL856, a new rule for the parents organization. So for this scenario, who all was involved is the building principal for this scenario, which would be myself, the president of the parents group, and then additional representatives of the parents group. So what's happening essentially is the representatives of this newly founded parents group have shared their plans for restructuring back to school nights, becoming more involved in the decisions and policy making process of the school, and plan to issue policy statements on the need for change. So why is this an issue? First and foremost, this caught the school principal off guard completely. Many of the new suggestions also given by the parents group would require a great deal of personal time from teachers, as well as possibly upset the educational program of the school. So it's going to take a lot of change, and for most, change is not welcome. So any legal or ethical issues occurring? I don't believe there are any legal issues for this scenario. Possible people harmed by the actions of the decision of one decision or another would be the students, of course, teachers, and then the principal. Like I said, it doesn't contravene with any existing laws. However, depending on the decisions made, there could be some issues with teacher contracts and contracted times for when they would need to be there. So some other ethical issues that I had kind of thought about was, will the principal be held? Will the principal be held if anything goes wrong? And then another concern I had was for some possible backlash from teachers or the parents group. Again, depending on what decision was made. So in a nutshell, representatives from the newly formed parents group have expressed their desire to be involved in the decision and policy-making process in an attempt to ensure students are receiving a quality education. So if we look deeper into this, the people involved are going to be the principal, myself. While reading this and thinking about this person becomes as kind of a creature of habit, stuck in their old ways, likes to keep things as they've always been. The parent group, on the other hand, they want to impact change. They're very motivated and they're willing to work, and they have good intentions behind their ideas and their thoughts. The teachers are impacted by whatever decisions are made, and then of course the students. All this is driving around the student needs and making sure that they're receiving the best education possible. We don't really have a ton of information regarding this school. We do just know this is at a school. We don't really know public or private. We have no idea on the location or the population or the types of students that we're serving. We only are given minimal information on the programs involved. This parents organization that is newly separated from PTA, and forming their own parents organization, but we don't have a ton of information about that group either. So can this situation be damaging to stakeholders? Yes. The school and the district's relationship with parents could possibly be damaged. Depending on what the principal decides to do. This is very a touchy subject. If I choose not to go with the parents, then I'm upsetting them. And if I choose to go with the parents, then that opens a whole nother can of worms. The principal is held responsible for all decisions made. So they think that's where the principal is hesitant. Because he or she is still responsible for the decisions and the policies that are put into place. Teachers will be under a microscope. I know teachers often get comfortable with, doing what they're doing within the classroom, and then for someone to come in from outside of the classroom to tell them that they're doing wrong or try to give them suggestions on how to improve, that might not go over very well. Also, we need to ensure that students' needs they need to be met and that they're being met to the best of our ability. So who else needs to be consulted? I thought hard about this one. I think I would probably still inform the superintendent of the proposal from the parents organization and my ideas and thoughts on that. The school board would be informed if any changes to policies and practices need to be implemented. And then, of course, the teachers. Whatever decision is made is going to impact the teachers. So the teachers are going to need to know what's coming down the road. Some questions that I would like to consider and that were running through my mind while reading this was, I was questioning if a needs assessment has been administered. The parents' organization had all these ideas and these thoughts on what to improve in these different areas. So I was curious where they were getting those focuses from. Also, I was wondering what the current communication methods used for informing the parents and the community members of the policies and the curriculum. So how are the teachers and the principal and administrations letting the public know what they're teaching and how they're teaching in the school? So if we look at the possible options, I have 3. Option 1 is do nothing, continue with things as they've always been in the past. Option 2 would to fold to the parent group, let them make the decisions and continue with their plan as they laid out. Or option 3 would be to collaborate with the parent group and find a way to compromise. So if we look closely at these groups or at these options, option 1 would be easy, requires no extra work. We're just going to do it as we've always done it. However, this is going to upset the parents group. You're not listening to them, you're not taking any of their suggestions, and you're not making any improvements. Option 2 would definitely please the parents within the group. It takes a lot of decision making out of the principal's hands. So, less to think about, less to worry about. This parents group is going to kind of do it for me. It also could impact student learning for the better. That's the entire, motivation behind all of this, is to provide the best education. So it could, have a positive impact. Some cons that I thought of was it's making a lot of changes, which are often difficult for many. Many have issues with this, and the teachers might not have buy-in. The principal is also still held responsible when things go wrong. So whether, I came up with that policy or that procedure, I would still be responsible for, making sure that it's carried out, and then if it doesn't go as planned. Option 3 would be some pros I thought was build a strong working relationship between the school and the parents group. And it's also going to impact a positive change throughout the school. Positive. The cons requires the principal to get out of his comfort zone. Again, if you go with option 1, you're just doing what you've always done and it's very comfortable. Option 3, however, is going to be different, and you're not going to kind of know what to expect. Also, all must work together and you must have buy-in from everyone involved or it would not work. So the best option that I selected was option 3, where you collaborate with the parents group. So by working with the parents group, I'm forming a strong relationship with parents and community members to impact student learning. The parents group will provide another point of view as well as additional experience and expertise in areas that I may be lacking. Forming a good working relationship with them now will open doors and opportunities in the future. So if we're going to look at a plan of action, I would say first thing that needs to be done is to conduct a needs assessment. I would then sit with the parents group or their representatives or within their groups and review those results from the needs assessments to determine what areas the parents group can assist with. So they may not be able to help with every area identified within that needs assessment. Next, I would collaborate with the parents group to create a plan that uses this information to assist in school improvement and student development. We continue to work closely with the parents group on the implementation of the plan. And then I would conduct yearly surveys to assess how the plans of improvement are going and where an additional focus needs to be. Thank you so much for listening, and that is my case study.